Hey, what's up, team? So this evening, I am going to be going through a workshop which is all about how to achieve your health and fitness goals in 2023. Um, Working our way 2 weeks into January. Um, I know a lot of people are probably either not started yet or I'm slipping up in terms of where they want to go this year, what they want to achieve, and really they need a roadmap on how to get there. So this short 30-minute or so presentation workshop is all about giving you a little bit of a roadmap and asking you some questions to get you thinking about what it is you want to achieve and how you can get there. So firstly, welcome and thank you for watching this presentation. Um, If you don't know who I am, my name is Nathan Bell. I am a coach. I've been working as a fitness professional for probably the last 10 years now, after graduating from university with a degree in sport and exercise science. I love exercise. I love training. I love taking on new challenges, just as much as I love coaching and helping other people to achieve their goals. However, if you see this picture of me here, this was me when I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And at this point in time, I was overweight, as you can see. Although I like sport, I obviously liked eating chocolate fudge cake more than I like my sport. And I was quite self-conscious and lacked self-confidence. And I knew I kind of got to the point where I knew that I wanted to change something. I knew that I wanted to be better in my sport. I didn't enjoy being the slowest out of all of my friends. So that was kind of where my journey began into taking the steps to changing myself. Okay, so this was me probably a year or two ago during a coaching session, and you can see that I've taken the steps to change the way that I look, but more importantly, I've changed the way that I feel about myself. I've developed my self-confidence and truly believe that I can achieve anything that I put my mind to. And I think a lot of that has come through the journey of taking on new challenges, having setbacks along the way, and knowing that by investing into my body and my health every single day, that is more than just physical, it's more than just the way that I look. It's about building resilience, it's about building self-confidence. So my journey has gone from that being that 11-year-old overweight boy to where I am now. Um, it started off with just improving at my sport, so getting better at football, going from a Sunday league player to representing my county and bigger achievements than that. And then since then, as I've got older and graduated from uni, it's been competing in boxing matches, completing triathlons, cycling around continents, different challenges and different things for me to train for. So, key things for you to understand and remember: success does not take place overnight. I didn't go from being that overweight, lacking self confidence young man to having six pack abs. Okay, it took a long time to change the way that I look and change the way that I felt. Just remember that start with small steps. Okay, start with little wins, weekly wins, daily wins, okay, and build that up. And then you'll be surprised over the course of a year, if you can stick to your weekly wins and your monthly wins, how much you will have changed when you look back a year from now. Okay, don't expect success to be this linear process where you're just constantly getting stronger, constantly getting fitter. Just last year alone, I've had a number of injuries that have set me back months. So, for example, tearing my pec last April, and that is still nowhere near. It's almost been, well, coming up to 8 months, and it's still nowhere near the strength that it was before I tore it. So there will be setbacks along the way, whatever your goal is, but be patient, be persistent, and the change will come. Okay, so secondly, it is being clear on what your objective is and why it is important. Okay. And that's going to be completely individual for everyone. So for me, at my point in time when I was that young, overweight kid, there was kind of two real whys. The one was I wanted to be better at my sport. I wanted to excel. Um, I wanted to improve and get to a higher level. Why? Because I love my sport and I didn't enjoy not being as good as I knew I could be. The second why was probably down to my mindset. It was I didn't enjoy being overweight. I enjoy being self-conscious. When you can dig to your why and make sure that it is important and not just a kind of something you just chucked out there that's kind of materialistic or superficial, that's when you're really going to start to dig in and be committed to your change. Finally, you can't expect it to be easy, okay? Depending on what your goals are, the harder and more ambitious the goal that you've set for yourself, the more work you are going to have to put in, okay? You can't just expect change to happen because you've thought about it in your head. Thinking about the change and understanding your why are the first step in the process. Then, once you've built that, you need to start thinking about what actions you need to take, and you need to be willing to dig in, show a little bit of grit, and know that when you achieve your goals, whichever you've set for yourself, in the end, it will be worth it. It will be worth the pain, it will be worth the struggle, it will be worth the times where you want to give up. Okay, so throw your resolutions out the window. Every single year we hear everyone talk about what their New Year's resolutions are going to be. Majority of people, they revolve around health and nutrition, so exercising more, eating better. Okay, but this graph here, these statistics show that almost over 20% of people quit their resolutions within the first week. Over 60% have quit their resolutions by just in the first month. And only about 9% of people actually stick with their resolutions long term. Okay, so why do people make these resolutions and why do they not stick? In my mind, there's a number of reasons, but the biggest one is I believe that people don't sit down and really spend time by themselves to reflect and work out not just a resolution, but who is it they want to be? What are they trying to achieve? Okay, what is the long-term goal and vision? Why is that important? Okay, so really come to grips with the why that is important to them and how it's going to impact in their life in the long term. Because it's a simple known fact that short-term comfort is easier than we see the comfort of what's nice for us now, and we take that easy decision over what's going to be nice for us in the future. Because if I know, for example, that stopping smoking is going to be good for me in 3, 4, 5 years time, okay, but that's a long time away. Whereas if I smoke now and I enjoy it, that's an easy decision. Okay, so we've really got to understand and buy into the long-term reason of why we are making a change. So in order to achieve our fitness goals, but this can be applied to any aspect, any area of life, we need to start with an outcome and work backwards. Okay, we call this reverse engineering. So, for example, if we say 2023, pick up a pen and paper, even now, stop this whilst you're watching it, and spend a couple of minutes thinking about what is it that you want to achieve in 2023. If you are a fitness enthusiast, maybe you want to achieve your first muscle up. If you are an MMA fighter, maybe you want to achieve a win in a certain belt. Okay, maybe you want to win a belt. If you are a mum that has just had a baby. Maybe your goal is to get back to the shape that you were in and improve your fitness from before when you had the baby. Everyone's goals are different, and that's why it doesn't matter what other people's goals are. You need to think about what it is that you want to achieve. Okay, once you have identified what it is you want to achieve, and with that, I would go with no more than a couple of things. So, for example, for myself, I might set myself 2 or 3 key fitness goals or challenges that I want to achieve in 2023. The next thing I want you to do is ask yourself, why is that important to you? Okay, why is achieving that goal important to you? So to give you an example, one of my goals for this year is to complete the London Marathon, ideally in a time of 3 hours or 30 or less. Why is that important to me? It's because that goal links in with one of my main values. And one of my main values is about constantly challenging myself and getting outside my comfort zone. I haven't run a marathon before. I've never run that distance. And I know physically and mentally that it will be a challenge for me to achieve it. Therefore, I want to do it because I know that it's going to require effort, it's going to require discipline, and that as a result of that process, I am going to come out a better individual, both physically but also mentally, because I'm having to push through that psychological barrier and also potentially a physical barrier. So whatever your goal is or whatever your goals are for this year, sit down and ask yourself, why is it important? And try and break it down. So if the first thing is that you want to lose weight, firstly, that's not a great goal because it's not very specific and measurable. But let's say that's your goal. Why is that important to you? Initially, you might say it's important to you because you want to fit into your old clothes. Okay, why is that important to you? Well, that's important to me because I feel more confident when I fit into those clothes. Okay, great. Why is that important to you? Well, that's important to me because when I feel confident, I'm happier. I feel like I'm going to attract better people into my life because I'm more positive. Okay, so now we're starting to touch on the real reason why that's important to you. Once you have found out why that goal is important to you, you need to write it everywhere, imprint it into your mind, because right now your motivation might be high, but there is going to be lots and lots of times where temptation comes in, where motivation is low, and it is in those moments where you need to know what your why is, okay? Have it on your phone so you see it every day. Have it on your door so that when you wake up in the morning, you see it. Okay, make that why so clear in your head that as soon as any opportunity to give up comes in, you remind yourself of your why. Okay, so once we have identified what the goal is and why it is important to us, then we want to break it down a little bit, okay? And you might start by breaking it into quarterly goals, all right? So let's say my goal in 1 year's time is to be able to do 10 muscle ups, okay? Muscle ups, a gymnastics move. Okay, well, where am I right now? Okay, right now I can do 1. So I need to add another 9 in 1 year's time. So if we break that down, approximately, I need to be achieving another 2 to 3 muscle ups per month. Okay, so if we look at that in 6 months' time, my goal might be to be able to do 5 or 6 muscle ups. In 3 months' time, I want to be able to do 2 or 3 muscle ups. Obviously, with this, it's not going to be exact. Okay, you can't, with something like that, it might be slow progress. So the first 3 months might be a little bit slower, but then by 6 months or month 4, you might all of a sudden get 2 or 3 at once. Okay, so just because you haven't hit that goal target in 3 months doesn't mean it's time to give up. It might just mean that progress might suddenly come at once, or maybe we really need to reassess. Okay, the whole idea of breaking the goals down into smaller chunks is to help with staying motivated. Okay, so we can start saying, oh yeah, I'm hitting that, I'm hitting that. Okay, but it's also an opportunity to reassess. Okay, if I'm not hitting it, what am I not doing well and what do I need to change? All right, so more importantly, you may have read some good books. One of my favorites is called Atomic Habits by a guy called James Clear. So I probably need to reread and go through it again. But it talks about don't set goals, focus on your daily habits. Personally, I think it's important to have the two of them intertwined. So it is great to have goals and targets and things we want to achieve, but in reality, it's the daily habits that we apply and adopt that help us to achieve our goals. Okay, is if we have goals, but then we don't have habits and daily behaviors that we need to adopt to get there, there is no point having the goal in the first place. We need to spend the time to work out, okay, if my goal is to achieve 10 muscle ups, what do I need to start doing to get there? Okay, one of my goals might be, one of the habits I might need to implement is to spend 3 times a week working on the power of my pull-up, which is going to help me get higher up the rings or the bar. Another habit I might work on is reducing my intake of processed food and junk food. How is that going to help me? Okay, so that's going to help me because I'm going to lose fat, excess body weight, meaning I'm lighter, meaning it's going to be easier for me to achieve that movement. Okay, if your goal is to achieve a title fight in the next year, what habits might you need to adopt? Okay, well, analyze it. What can you change? It might be habit number one is that you start getting more sleep, okay, because that's going to help with your recovery. Habit number two might be focused on hydration and nutrition, again, to help you recover better, to help you train harder. Okay, think about what it is on a daily basis that you need to start doing to help you achieve the goals in the long term. Okay, finally, what is the identity or what is the identity you want to create? This is super important. So with this, like for me, okay, it will come down to my identity. Part of my identity is being fit and being healthy and looking after my mind and my body. If you want to identify as someone that is athletic, that is looking after their health and body, then you need to think like that person. You need to behave like that person. Okay, so let's say I smoke right now, but the identity I wanted to create is that of an athlete that is in my mind, I am fit, I'm healthy, I'm strong. Well, smoking doesn't fit with that identity. And therefore, I need to look at that behavior and say, okay, that behavior is not going to help me create the identity that I want. Identity is super important because every time you get challenged in terms of a decision that is not going to help you, you can weigh it up. Okay, is this decision going to help me be a better athlete? Is this decision going to help me be a better parent? And if that habit or whatever it is doesn't align, then it's time to say no. Okay, so the first thing that we need to focus on right now would be to complete a lifestyle assessment. Okay, a lifestyle assessment is looking at the different areas in our life that are going to impact on us becoming the best, fittest, strongest, healthiest version of ourselves. Okay, so the first component we need to think about is our mindset. We need to ask ourselves the question, how committed am I to achieving my goals? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is each goal to me? Okay, 10 being most important. How hard can I push myself on a scale of 1 to 10? Ask yourself these questions to figure out, are you in the right place mentally to start working towards the goals that you set for yourself? Secondly, we need to assess our movement. Depending on the level of difficulty of our goal, will depend on how we assess our movement. So for example, if your goal is to be a professional athlete, then your movement demands are going to be much more intense than someone who is a parent that is just looking to stay in good shape. So we need to assess the way that we move from our biomechanics. There is no point starting an exercise regime if we have if we have really poor movement. Okay, there's no point putting a heavy barbell on our back to do back squats if we have shocking ankle mobility and poor hip mobility, because we're going to get injured. There is no point doing loads of running if my running technique is shocking or I'm very overweight, which is going to put a lot more stress on my joints. Okay, nutrition. Again, nutrition is another key component of this bigger picture in terms of achieving our health and fitness goals. Unfortunately, there are so many people that train hard, go to the gym or compete in their sport, train hard at their sport, but their nutrition is shocking. They're putting the wrong food into their body, which means that, okay, they might still get a little bit better, but they're never going to be as healthy as they could be. They're never going to achieve that peak performance. Nutrition in terms of body composition, in terms of recovery, in terms of having energy to complete your activity is crucial. Okay, there's no way that I'm going to run a marathon in a good time if I don't consume any drink, any water to keep me hydrated, or if I don't consume any foods, carbohydrates during to keep me moving, to keep my energy levels high. Okay, the same way that if my protein intake is super low and I'm going to the gym all the time lifting weights, well, my muscles are not getting enough amino acids to help with the recovery process. And therefore, it doesn't matter how much I lift in the gym, I'm not going to improve the same way that I could if I'm getting enough protein. Finally, recovery. And that links in with the nutrition, but recovery is thinking about, okay, how stressed out am I on a daily basis? Am I taking time away from high stress situations, maybe at work? If you are an athlete and you're training twice a day quite intensely, are you then giving yourself time to have a nap in the afternoon? Or are you going to the sauna and steam room? Okay, there's so many components to achieving optimal health and achieving, and the more challenging our fitness goals, the more challenging, the more we want to achieve that peak performance, both physically and mentally, the more effort and the more congruency we need with all four components. Okay, so in all my years working as a coach and training myself, in order to achieve sustainable success, we need to have a holistic approach to the way that we train, recover, and perform. So as I said, number one, mindset. For me, this comes first before anything else, okay? If I want to be a top MMA fighter, I'm going to be needing to push myself extremely hard. Okay, there are times in training where I'm going to have to feel like I want to be sick. There's going to be times where I want to give up. That is all down to mindset. If I can't go that distance, there'll be someone else that will. And when I get into the cage with them and they're willing to push that extra bit and I'm tired and I'm fatigued, I'm not going to achieve that goal of being a champion. The same way that if you're a busy parent or CEO that has to get up and take their kids to school at 7, have you got the mindset that you're willing to get up an hour earlier to do your exercise before you do the rest of your day? And that then comes back down to how important are your goals to you? Do you really want to be able to perform at your peak? All right? Do you really want to achieve the goals you set for yourself? And mindset also then comes back to dealing with setbacks. The bigger your goals in any field or area of your life, the more likely that you are going to have setbacks along the way. And you need to be able to deal with those setbacks. If you let them overcome you and you let them damage you, you let them hurt your feelings, you get sad and anxious, you're going to give up. You're not going to come back. You're not going to achieve your goals. Okay. And that's also why it's fairly important to build our goals gradually over time. Because if I set this humongous goal that seems so far away and it's unrealistic, I'm probably going to give up soon because after 1 month, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even making a difference. So setting them small goals and targets where we can get those daily, weekly, and monthly wins is really key. Okay, the second part, movement. So having a clear training plan. There are, again, so many people that go to the gym, but either they just follow some random workout or they train once a week. Maybe this week I'll train, maybe this week I won't. Get to the gym. Okay, what should I do when I get to the gym? Oh, let me I'll do a couple of sets of squats. Okay, that's look, if you are just starting and your goal is to lose some weight or you're just getting into your fitness, okay, you could probably go to the gym a couple of times a week without having a very clear plan and make progress. But as soon as you started to get those newbie gains out of the way, especially if you want to be an athlete and you want to be peaking, you need to have a very clear structure that is built around the lifestyle assessment we looked at before. Okay, so we need to identify what are your goals? Where are you at right now? We need to do a biomechanical analysis of your movement. We need to get an idea of your fitness, and then we can build from there. The other key parts in this are being consistent and coming back to the training program, having progressive overload. Okay, don't just go to the gym or train at home and do the same repeated workout month after month after month. People ask me or are shocked when they haven't had any changes in their fitness. And then they tell me that they've been doing the same training program for 3 years. Okay, it is no surprise you are not seeing results. Your body will adapt quite quickly. Every 6 to 8 weeks, your body's going to get quite used to what you're doing. That's where we need to start adapting what we're doing with our training program, having deloads, switching our training methods to ensure that we're making progress. Okay, nutrition. Firstly, if our goal is related to body composition or weight gain or weight loss, we need to understand energy balance. We need to have a better idea of input versus output. We can't expect to lose weight if we are eating more over a Christmas period, for example, but doing less or the same amount of exercise. Okay, although I don't like how some people make the simplicity of energy in, energy out, because there is more to it. But on a bigger scale, yes, you do need to, if you're not eating less and moving more, you're not going to lose weight. If you are doing the same amount of exercise and you're not eating more, then you're not going to put weight on, okay? You're not going to put muscle on. Secondly, we need to focus on the quality of food over just the quantity of food that we're consuming. Think about, are your meals made from scratch? Where are you getting the ingredients from? Are they processed ingredients? Okay, how digestible is the food that we're eating? All right, if the quality of the food is poor, then again, it's unlikely that we're not going to get the nutrients that we need to help us, okay? There might be a slice of pizza from Domino's and versus a homemade chicken fajita with peppers, etc., lots of veggies in. They might have the same amount of calories, but one is going to have way more quality nutrients that are going to help us recover and perform. What I like to say when it comes to nutrition, if you know you're someone that struggles to stay away from the foods that are not good for you, take away those temptations. Don't go near the shops and the things that sell that your weakness. If you are in a supermarket, don't buy the stuff so you have it at home, because then it's going to be a lot easier. You haven't got the temptations there. There's less of a demand on your discipline daily. Finally, recovery. Assess your recovery right now. Ask yourself, do you go to bed and get up at the same time every day? Are you getting at least 7 to 9 hours sleep? Do you have recovery days in? Do you have deloads every so often to help your body relax and recuperate? Are you Are you spending time in the sauna, steam room? Are you doing stretching? Okay. Are you giving yourself a bit of a rest? Many people that are athletes, for example, in some of the MMA gyms that I work at, they just want to push themselves and push themselves and push themselves. But eventually you'll break. Your body does need to have time to recover as well. Okay, so finally, we're going to cover some of the common errors that I see people make with achieving their fitness goals. All right, number one, links to the last thing that I just said, training hard but poor recovery. Okay, it might not be an elite athlete. This might be someone who has had a layoff for 1 month. It might be someone that was training regularly. Average Joe goes to the gym, keeps pretty fit. You might have had 1 month off training, done nothing at all, and then you've gone straight back to the gym and you're trying to hit exactly the same training schedule that you did before you stopped training over a month ago. Okay, if you are doing that, but then you're also not getting much sleep, you're not eating the right food, and you're having late nights or you're going out, then that's going to quickly lead to injury or illness, and then it's going to lead to burnout. You're going to get demotivated and you're not going to be able to keep pushing towards your goals. Number two, again, links back to the last one on nutrition. So focusing on the amount of food over the quality of food. Depending on what your goal is, whether it's weight related or not, that's going to obviously dictate how many calories you need to consume. But no matter whether we're trying to put on weight or lose weight, we always want to focus on the quality of food we consume. Our fitness goals should be about much more than just the aesthetics of how we look. It should be about how optimally we are functioning internally, how well our organs operating, etc. Okay. Unfortunately, people focus so much on the outside and we forget that fitness is also how our heart's working, how our muscles are working, how well we utilize oxygen. Okay, another one is training once per week and expecting results. Okay. If you are just doing one hour session a week, okay, you might see some changes initially. If you're changing your diet as well, you might see some changes in the way you look and the way you feel. But quickly that's going to wear out, okay? At a minimum, I would say you want to be hitting around 3 workouts a week that are reasonably intense. And the fitter and more robust you are with the more training experience you have, you're going to be pushing more towards 4 or 5 workouts a week, at least, to make sure that you are progressing. Okay, another common error I see most people make is a lack of daily movement. Unfortunately, so many people nowadays are operating in a desk job where they might spend 7, 8 hours a day sat down in front of a laptop or phone. And okay, great, you might go and do your 1 hour of training a day, but that isn't going to make up for all of that time at the desk. Okay, you need to try and find ways to get up and get moving a bit more often. And even if it means that it's on a weekend, you spend most of your weekend on your feet, getting out. If you are working at a desk, can you change the position of your desk? Can you do some stretching every hour? Can you go out for a walk every hour or walk around the house, up and down the stairs? Okay, cool. So the next one, again, linking back to having an actual strategy. Once you've worked out what your fitness goals are, let's say your fitness goal is to do 10 chin-ups. You need to start building a clear plan and objective strategy to get there, okay? You can't just say, oh yeah, this is my goal. Okay, my goal is to do 10 chin-ups. I'm going to start spinning every day for an hour. That's not going to achieve your goal because there's no clear strategy there. Spinning might help your muscular endurance in your legs and your lungs, but it's not going to help achieve a chin-up. Okay, the next one, focusing on goals over habits. So remember that habits are, whilst goals are important and it's good to set the goals, the habits are what are going to help us achieve those goals on a daily basis. Okay, so start focusing from tomorrow on what habits you can implement to help you achieve your goals. Okay, finally, very important one as well, lack of support or accountability. So if you do not declare your goals and let people know what they are, if you do not share your goals with other people, whether that is a coach, whether that is a family member, a good friend, your Facebook, your Instagram followers, okay? If you do not set them goals, then no one is there to hold you accountable. It's easier to give up on something if no one else knows about it, okay? As humans, we don't like to be embarrassed. We don't like to be seen as giving up or giving in. So if you know, if that goal is really important to you, tell other people, let them know about it, and tell them to get on your back. If you are not putting the work in to achieve that goal, tell them to make you aware, okay? Having support and accountability is crucial. And I think this is where most people slip up, okay? It's so useful to have, for example, a coach or a team member in your corner that is going to check in on you on a weekly basis. Have you been training? Have you been making your meals from scratch? Have you been getting to bed at the time you said you were going to go to bed? All right. So have a little think right now and ask yourself, have you got someone that is going to hold you accountable, that cares about your goals as much as you? Okay, cool. Hopefully you have taken something away from this presentation. Hopefully you found it useful. And to finish up, I just want to say, let me help you. Okay, if you have identified some goals, some fitness goals that are important to you, if you want to transform your health, the way you perform, the way you look, the way you feel, then I want to reach out to you. I want to help you make that change. If you're in a place where you have your goals, but you don't quite know how to get there, then that's what I am here for. I have dedicated my life to helping other people be fitter, be healthier, be stronger, achieving their fitness goals. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you would like to find out how I can help you, then there is two ways. There is in-person coaching if you're someone that lives near to me, or there is HLP online. Okay, and with HLP online, there is both personalized and there is group coaching options. And as I said, with this, it is built around habits to build long-term positive change. Okay, if I want to help you achieve your goals in 1 year's time, then we need to think about what is realistic for you. What are the habits we can implement from tomorrow to start getting you on your journey? As part of the process as well, we focus on nutrition and training together to help you get the most out of the process. If you are just following a training program, going to the gym, but you're not making changes anywhere else in your life, you're unlikely to get that long-term success you crave and desire. Okay, you will receive a structured training program based on your goals, which means that there is no more guesswork. There's no more jumping on YouTube and picking out random workouts. There is no more just going online and trying things. Okay, that might work for you, but it's more than likely that you're going to do a lot of trial and error and it's going to take you a long time to get to where you want to get to. I have worked with coaches in different aspects of my journey, whether that is being a better coach myself, whether that's learning more about business, whatever it is. If you have a coach, they can help you. They know, they have the formula that you need to help you get there quicker. Okay, finally, with the HLP online, you can track everything in one place on the HLP app. Okay, it has video tutorials to every exercise to help you know what you need to be doing. You can stay part of the HLP community. So if you have questions, you can post. Again, that is going to help you with accountability as well. So if you need that strategy, you need the accountability, and you are serious about achieving your fitness goals this year, reach out to me, send me an email or reach out to me on Instagram, Coach Nate, and let's have a chat. Let's have a 30-minute chat, talk through where you're at right now, where you want to get to, and how I can, if we're a good fit, how can I support you in getting there? Okay, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for giving me your time. I hope you found some of the information useful. As I said, if you have any questions for me, if you enjoyed it or you have any feedback, then please do send me an email. And it was my pleasure to share my knowledge and wisdom with you. So thank you very much for watching.